my younger brother and like my sister and her boyfriend Paul. And we were talking about like being pregnant and how it was and that sort of stuff. And they told me my oldest sister was 20 weeks pregnant. And I was like, really? I was sitting here like with a bigger belly than her. Wait, huh? What? I don't need the power. Do I need the X? Do I need the X for this? I would assume you need... Oh. You know the funny thing? I was like looking back at the last video, as you know, since it took 40... Like the first thing I'm surprised is it took 40 minutes basically for around like the start of the day till like the sacred hour to arrive and that sort of stuff. And I looked back also to hear if the neighbors downstairs were hearable. And yes, you heard them laugh for like a split second, that was it, maybe not. But I was also so surprised, huh? And you know why? Well, the most thing is, like, I don't think I've ever been that open on, like, a video before or stream. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the last video. And if you don't know what this is, welcome back to a Blueprints. Apologies. Welcome back to another Blueprints episode. A roguelite puzzle game. And that sort of stuff, where your goal is to reach room 46. And that's it, but we've already passed away the thing. If you haven't watched the series, I highly recommend you do. As you know, I'm doing this with the big belly and that sort of stuff. Even if I'm 19 weeks pregnant, this is not my belly size. My belly size is roughly... I don't think I showed you anytime. Now, as I'm recording, I'm 19 weeks pregnant. And as I'm recording this, 19 weeks pregnant as I said. And I'm recording this on the 11th of May. And that sort of stuff. Where is my in real life Preggo look? And that sort of stuff. So, like, yeah. So, I don't think I've ever showed this, like, in the thing, because I've been doing this with Big Belly Cam no matter what. But, he's loading still. Well, this loads in the background and that sort of stuff. But yeah. And like I said, like, I'm surprised that it took 40 minutes, by the way, for like, I think it was from like the start of the day, by the way, that like, I went for the sacred hour. And, yeah, I don't think I've ever been that like open and thing. And by the way, my pregnancy belly roughly looks like this now. So I have a sizable bump, but not sizable enough. I have a few topics I want to talk about during this video. Like I told you the topic about like me expressing myself and how to do on integration work. That's one for in the video. I will talk maybe a bit about my pregnancy in the video, I don't know. But I will also talk about my new gender that I've chosen. That will be the main topic first. But first, yeah, like this sort of stuff. As you can see, I have a sizable belly for 90 weeks. But it's not as big as this one. So, but like the thing is, I stated with Blueprints, as I stated earlier. I kept doing big belly because the thing is like, I pre-record these a lot. So, you know, when I do big belly now, when this release, I'm like 10 weeks further. So I'm going from like big to small to big. And it's of course fun to see your belly grow, but I think people like Blueprint belly more. But the plan of the day is actually, I want to go back to that secret door because I feel like this door in the secret passage, because I feel like that memo is missing, or I noted that incorrect for like the castle cipher. And I also want to find the other pieces of things, but I have no clue where to look. But as anything with this game, it should be in the house. And I want to still try to like shelter the lavatory, but I don't think that's gonna work like real quick. So, and besides the castle cipher, I think I'm still going for like trying to find realm. How do you call that? Yeah, realm stuff and that sort of stuff. lavatory, and I want to try to get the tunnel empty today, if it's possible. Because if I can get the tunnel empty, then we can go through the first door. Or yeah, the door that's there. Assuming there are more doors knowing this game. Yeah, the first door. As it meant like knowing this game, emptying that tunnel takes already a long time. But it wouldn't be simple as just emptying the tunnel and, go like, go like, hey, here's a door, here's a secret. No, this is a game where like fucking there's like the word castle on the side that people be like, oh, you should do that castle movement thing. And I know, well, like that one, that's also a cipher for om de keer ergens scoort. And where color matters a lot. So, yeah. But first things first. I have officially adapted to to continue basically the story of last week. It is more, I think that. But, to continue with that story, I chosen today I chosen over the weekend to officially adopt my neo-gender. If you don't know, I have Preggo as pronoun because I get joy and, I get joy and a bit of like thing. Oh, this is rough. 40 seconds. I don't have that many tomorrow rooms. I don't think I have also drawing rooms. Right, because I have the hallway, the clock tower, and the morning room, the green morning room, but what are drawing rooms? But like, as you know, I have Preggo's thing, because I get joy, I get happy when people call me Preggo. And to accompany the Preggo Vtuber and that sort of stuff. Yeah, I don't... Blueprints, what are... It says drawing rooms, right? Now a drawing room floor plan. I'm like clicking everything is. Yeah, I don't want to know what the drawing room is. I want to know. I think it's not like floor plans, by the way, done with like thing. I think. No, this is a drafting room. Is this like a drafting room? Drafting effects. I'm gonna do the tomorrow room because I know what the tomorrow rooms are technically. Now. But as you know, like as I said, I have Preggo gender. I get happy by that. But the thing is, like, the reason I have that is, of course, I love being called Preggo. And I have a big belly all the time, and I get pregnant from time to time and that sort of stuff. I eat people and such. How to lose viewers within 5 seconds. But if I go back by the story of next week, one thing that always was a thing, and the reason, one thing that always happened is the fact that, back when I got my transgender thoughts, I always saw myself as a girl. That's logical. But that was always a pregnant girl. And such stuff. With the reason of, like, it was either in a straight relationship, a lesbian relationship, a poly relationship. But I was always the girl that ended up getting pregnant or was pregnant. And that sort of stuff. And that's my transgender thoughts, basically. And, yeah, this is a tomorrow room. So that's one of the 4 crates that I need to do. But, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through the foundation and see if I can... that sort of stuff. But, like, so I put that away, or, like, I note that away as in, like, hey, it's fantasy, it wouldn't be right. But I think that creeped into my gender. This is 1 times 1 is 1. This will be 3, I think. 4 times 4 is 16, so this will be 2, right? Yeah. Oh, this is why I love using the diaper solver. But the thing is, as I said, I have seen myself always as a pregnant girl. And, or a Preggo. And that sort of stuff. And, I think with that reason is that I love that the belly crept into my content, that I got pregnant in the first place, and that sort of stuff, and that I started to use the Preggo pronoun. You know? And where I want to go with this, for a long time I have like had this neo pronoun, and for a long time I was a bit like skeptical about it, as in, is it 1 square or 2 square? That's 2 squares. For a long time, I wanted to be called Preggo, but like I felt like insecure, like feared of what people judge, you know, and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was the reason why I had to talk and such stuff. That's 4. Starting with 0. 0 plus 10 is 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. 0 times the square of 0 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. 0 is minus 2 is minus 2. The square of minus 2 is minus 4. And such stuff. So, the reason I decided to go like, hey, you know, today, I am going with my neo gender is not because I feel like, you know, I want to waddle around like I want to now, which is like already thing, but to comprehend like the said thing that I said. I always saw myself as a pregnant girl. I get happy when people call me Preggo and that sort of stuff. And, oh, the key card. And I always want that big belly as a desire. This is rough. And I always want that big belly. Is that a tomorrow? Ah, there's 2 out of 4. And the thing is, it just feels right, because I said, like, when I start thinking about adapting my neo-gender, because when I first thought about, you know, neo-pronouns, I just thought they were as pronouns to express yourself differently if your pronouns didn't fall in, you know, the regular English pronouns of, like, he, she, and them, you know? But a friend of mine told me that it was like, this game doesn't really want me to get to the foundation, does it? And that sort of stuff. Was that people actually use it as a gender, as in sense of like, hey, you know, they don't really see themselves as this, and that sort of stuff. So they use this as gender. In your case, it's like you have Preggo or pregnant as gender, and I was like, yeah, I don't really want that, but I feel like, you know, I want to be called Preggo and that sort of stuff. But I get what people think, and I kept eventually my Preggo gender, or my Preggo pronoun, because like after like a talk with therapists, they were like, you know, what would you get from, you know, removing your pronouns? That's like a security door. And what would you get from like, you know, keeping your pronouns? And that made me realize that I'm doing that because I like it. I'm not doing this because I want to like please other people. Okay, this is stop. This is rough. No. I guess there's secret passage door today. I guess. But, and that sort of stuff. And for a long time, you know, I kept Preggo as my pronoun. But I've been really thinking, like, I feel happy as a Preggo. I feel happy when I have, like, a big, giant pregnant belly and that sort of stuff. So, this is more diamonds, this is a key, and this is upward. Delicious. I have, like, 50 diamond cheeses. This is also clocked out. Should I call it a day? That is, like, 3. No. and that sort of stuff. So I was like thinking recently over the weeks, like people have been calling me Preggo already more often than such stuff, just to like, support me, and it feels great. And like as I said last week, I've been thinking back to my transgender thoughts, and I realized technically that, I see myself as a pregnant girl, and oh, this will be really great, because that means 17 times and 19 coins tomorrow. And this is a tomorrow room. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold the fuck up. That is like all I can draw today, right? Yeah. And that sort of stuff. And it took me a while to think about, like at least a week. But yeah, I realized that like I have been seeing myself as a pregnant girl. And I have been seeing myself as a preggo. And when I thought of that, it felt right to say, I'm a preggo, I'm a pregnant girl, and that is how I myself see. So I'm gonna, take my neo-pronouns online and make it my gender. And, I really hear your thinking, Elise, isn't that like a bit out of the blue? To say, hey, I take, a common word as gender, yes. But the thing is, I identify as a pregnant girl now, so my gender will be pregnant girl. My pronouns will be preggo, preggo as, as in preggo smile and that sort of stuff, or preggo self as in you're talking about thinking about myself and that sort of stuff. But furthermore, nothing will really change. Like, I'm the same person, I will be the same way making content, I just express myself differently. Of course, there will be a little few changes along the way. I can reach the door now. There are a few more changes along the way in sense of like, in the real life stuff, like belly cam will outside pregnancies be always with a big belly and that sort of stuff. Can I reach it now? Will always be with a big belly and such stuff. In the real life content, like pictures behind the scenes, belly cams, excluding pregnancies. Vtuber content wise, I don't know yet, but I might just retire my non-preggo models, as in, keep my models with a belly and use those to accompany my gender choice. But that's the thing. Just from today forward, I am a pregnant girl and I identify as a pregnant girl. I still, if you're uncomfy with calling me a preggo, I get that. I still accept they and she, but I would prefer for you to call me preggo from now on and that sort of stuff. And yeah, thing. But that's my neo-gender thing. And I finally, took the thing because, or like, botched the bulge, or, pulled the rope and say, my gender is now this, and I will prefer if you call me by this. Because I think, like, oh, this door is locked. Great. I knew it. I fucking knew it. This is the basement key. So I need a key and a basement key. Okay. Well. Thing. I call it a day because I don't have anything to do anymore. But from now on, as I said, like, from now on, and that's the thing, like, I feel like, still no lavatory, by the way, but the door is open, the first door, so that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. But as I said, from now on, I rather want to be called preggo, and my gender is going to be that of a pregnant girl, so this will be probably permanent, as that sort of stuff. As I said, excluding pregnancies, you will see me with a big belly, full-term singleton as this one. And why do I say that? That is to accompany my gender choice, as in, being a pregnant girl and expressing that way. So this transgender will always appear full belly, full term. For both in real life content and thing. As I said, Vtuber models, I'm unsure, but I will let know if, like, I retire the old models, the models without a belly, like, not this one, but the other one. And that sort of stuff. And more will be coming. And such stuff. More will be coming, but thing. But yeah, that's, like I said, this is a choice to have. I don't do this because, like I said, I want to be forced preggo. Yeah, technically I want to be called preggo, so you can say that I do this because of that reason. Yes. But I'm choosing this to no longer say, you know, hey, I have an identity that is weird, and I'm unsure if I should accept set gender, you know. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Well, the thing is, like, I always, as I said, I always thought about this gender more as like, yeah, as one that I had. Like, I always thought about, like, you know, having this, I have this gender, but I'm, like, unsure what other people think about it. You know what I mean? And I'm always lost fear about the judgment. But the reason I now say, hey, look, my gender now is a pregnant girl, and that sort of stuff. I should have done classrooms. That sort of stuff. Or that for mine is, like, a pregnant girl, and that sort of stuff, is primarily the reason of, like, primarily the reason of saying, hey, I have this gender. I'm not gonna force you to like it. I'm not gonna force you to accept it. But I will prefer to be called like this. You know? And this is who I am, and this is who I want to express myself. So yes, that is a pregnant girl. But with this, I hope to be more confident in content. In the sense that I sound more confident, that I know more confident in what I'm doing, and that sort of stuff. And I also hope to, with a bit to say it in real life, to say, hey, look, I identify this way, you know, but I know it's probably out of realism way, so I'm accepted. This is who I am, this is who I want to be, and that sort of stuff. And I hope to get a little bit more confidence in my, yeah, work, content, and that sort of stuff. Because the funny thing is, I had, like, been implementing this into my GitHub. I have a personal GitHub and that sort of stuff. Because I'm a software developer, I have my own Discord bot is on there. And I was like spell checking, grammar checking it through ChatGPT. And that sort of stuff. And ChatGPT told me that, like, I sound insecure. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, that hits. De wedstrijden voor de coin purse. De battery pack. Car keys. That hit it, like, a bit. But yeah, as I said, this is the reason I say from now on, my gender is a pregnant girl. From now on, I will identify or be pronounced as Preggo. And like I said, I still accept Cheetah, but I will prefer Preggo. And that sort of stuff. And yeah, that's how I want to be. And that is actually to come, like, the go forward on the story of last week. What was the other story that I wanted to talk about? I was about to gonna say, no item here? That's new. Can you make, like... No. And that's how I want to be, and this is who I want to be. And I hope you accept that. Like I said, furthermore, nothing is gonna change really that much. Besides how I express myself. It's for me also figuring things out, because I said I want to express it more, but I don't know yet how I do it more in real life and such, but... But I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out one day. That's for me to discover. There is no way for me to go that way. So, then what's the second story that I want to talk about? Well, what story is I said in the beginning of the video? Oh yeah, my pregnancy. Yeah, my pregnancy is not that much to talk about. I think, as I said, because, yeah, this, of course, is my pregnancy. And being pregnant is something, but, well, being pregnant is something, but, like, as I stated, I had a family weekend away. Oh, that's maybe a good thing to talk about. I had a family weekend away. Oh, yeah, and the story about, my thing. The thing is, she has been on holiday. I was indeed right. But, she has not been talking to me like yet because she had stuff to do and had little time. So that story will come next week. I promise, I think. I assume it will be coming next week. But if this is false, then the blue box is not empty. And that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm still expecting to talk with her about my VTuber life and online persona. And I've already, like as I said, I've already done this on GitHub. Like I've already done this on GitHub, so they are aware of me, of my gender choice, technically. I've not done it as like as I've done it previously because, well, because of the fact that like I had like put myself with my big bump on GitHub since it was a personal GitHub, and that was a problem. But I haven't really been like as like I have like updated my about me to fit with like the choices of like Preggo and that sort of stuff. But yeah, that comes with a cost that like people are gonna see it and people are gonna judge it. But as I said, people will always judge stuff. So yeah, but I wonder how like people think about it. They probably see it like and be like, okay, like a lot of people maybe look weird at it, but be like, that's how Preggo wants to express themselves. Others gonna like find it weird and probably gonna ask questions. And the others are interested and gonna ask questions, but also a lot of people probably gonna like raise an eye and thing. But as stated, like one day I'm gonna start working in a group, and if they ask about my do I want like increase my locking pick skills or remove a crate from the tunnel? Let's do that. Are there? Let's remove the crate from the tunnel, so that I know that I don't have to do this again. And if I remove the crate from the tunnel, I at least can tell, hey, thing. But yeah, like as that sort of stuff, I wonder how they're gonna look up into it. But like as I said, I'm not doing this because I feel like, I wanna walk around with a big belly all day, I wanna be called Preggo. I turned this... I turned this off, right? One key, wow. Oh. I thought I changed this. But yeah, and that sort of stuff. So I want to do this more to get more confident, and I wonder how the world is gonna react to it. But as stated, like I have seen myself always as like a pregnant girl and that sort of stuff. I should try. Now that I think about it, I should try to get into the ancient, the end chamber, and such stuff. But yeah, this is how I want to express myself as pregnant gender and thing. The thing. That is the access, I'm not gonna draw the access. There's more dead ends and I don't need dead ends today. I don't want to do you. And see what's behind your door, but, fuck it, I'm gonna try to walk around. But that's my life. And as I said, And as I said recently, I think this is the right choice to gain more confidence. And with more confidence, I feel like I become a better person and get better content. But yeah, from now on, I'm a pregnant girl. 24/7. Yes. That's gonna be my gender, and it's gonna be weird to say. But a power of way through means I have the Southern 11. And it's often where one... which gets me into the end chamber. But now I need enough steps. And where's the dining room? That's rank 5. Do I care to see if there was like a kitchen here? This is 5 more steps. So but yeah, and like it feels good to say, like every time I go, like I still have to get used to being called Preggo and expressing myself with a big belly, because that's the thing. The reason I chose to do this with a big belly, or to alongside accompanying that with my gender choice, it feels more right to do. And as I said, like I have seen myself always in the first transgender thoughts that I got with, you know. I should have done the show. And I have seen myself always this way, and I think it's gonna be the right choice going forward, and such stuff. So, but yeah, like at least I hope that people can support it, which I know people will do. Now I need to remind also that like next time I get to like a laboratory experiment that I change the package manager, that I remove the crate from the tunnel, because I've done the crate from the tunnel. Oh, that door stays open. Like at least like that's the thing. Like I've done the package manager now, and a security key door. A crate has been removed from the tunnel. I need the power sledgehammer. Should I go back? I still have room to go, but I don't know how many steps I can take. Because I do have the broken... Oh, I do have the battery pack. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. And that sort of thing. So that's my life been the past week. Besides, you know, a family weekend away. Oh yeah, the funny thing is, like, as I said, you have seen my belly and that sort of stuff. How I look 19 weeks pregnant. My sister, my oldest sister, is also pregnant. Around March Day, and she announced she was pregnant because she already has a child, and she had a birthday of her child. And in the text, like, she sent a picture of, like, a birthday decoration that said, "Happy birthday, big sis." You know, it's a cute way to tell. And that sort of stuff. But the thing is, like, we saw each other and was like, "Oh, you're pregnant too?" Elise was like, yeah. And she was pregnant too, but like, I didn't know how far along she was. She had that belly, you know, just a sizable belly. Of like a belly size that was visible. But you wouldn't say she was pregnant, you know? See, now also she just had a child. But I was like one night I was sitting on the couch watching like the girlfriend of my brother, of my younger brother, and like my sister and her boyfriend Paul, and we were talking about like being pregnant and how it was and that sort of stuff, and They told me my oldest sister was 20 weeks pregnant. And I was like, really? I was sitting here like with a bigger belly than her. Wait, huh? Oh. I don't need the power. Do I need the X? Do I need the X for this? I would assume you need... Oh. Oh, that's the red door. I do have the boiler room. But can I make it back and forward? I wonder how many of these doors stay open. Because... You think they will stay open? But like the thing was, I was like telling them, like, look at me. Like I was a week behind her. I was 19 weeks pregnant. And she was 20. And I had the bigger bump. But that brought up the talk of, you know, hey, maybe you're carrying twins and she's carrying like a single one, Elise, and your belly indeed does look bigger average. But you know, every pregnancy is unique and that sort of stuff. But I still can be flabbergasted. Like, she had the belly size of what I had at 13 weeks pregnant, basically. And that sort of stuff. So I thought she was 12, 13 weeks pregnant. Third rib? No. Legit, I thought she was 12, 13 weeks pregnant, but she wasn't. To my surprise. I still can look at that like secret door passage. Okay, it's on. Wait, you know what I should do? Now that I think about it, I have like the secret passageway still here. I should get a shop, the kitchen, use the shop money for things, and I was like... No, this... Am I right? It still feels like there should be 2 more between this. Like, the thing is, I don't feel like I'm right, in the sense of like, where's my notion? It's a sense of like it being on the place of like CDX. Because I feel like it's supposed to be 1 down. That this is like the one next to the A. Because that would make sense. Because that would add, you know? So... That would make sense. More sense. Kitchen. Thank you. How many money you still have at the steps? But maybe I just need to look at from the back side, not like flip side. I still have so many ways to go. This turned out actually randomly because I was actually hoping to like fix the castle cipher and such stuff, but I guess not. But yeah, she was 20 weeks and we had the back and forward, you know, belly show, like belly difference and that sort of stuff. And she could notice that I was like a really bit surprised about her pregnancy. And there was like a little bit of teasing in it, but like you get that, like the thing is you get like that talk that somebody noticed you, like the same feeling of hey, the morning sickness, hey, the intermediate things, you know, your breast increase, you know, clothing that doesn't fit, and that sort of stuff. I didn't tell my family about my gender choices yet, but I want to test it online first, in sense of like I feel like I should try it out online first mostly, and then see what happens. Okay, I need the burning torch. Yeah, I can keep trying. I have the compass. So... The funny thing is, like, the funny thing about that doorway, I didn't fucking even notice it was like a sighting in the hall. I genuinely thought, you know, the planks were there to say, you know, hey, you need the power hammer, and the thing that based that off was, on that over there. That was also boarded up with planks. Yeah, it was boarded up with planks, so you needed the power hammer, and then after the power hammer, you needed to break the wall, but still. I mean, if I can draw the armory, I might have a chance at a burning torch. So. But yeah. And like I said, like in the end, I think I might continue this story next week about my gender and that sort of stuff. And funny thing, but like, yeah, from today onward, I'm a pregnant girl as a gender. That might be the magnificent glass that we need. No, I think it's just keys. The funny thing is that I never noticed until like, I think last week, is that you can see the items like disappear. So yeah. But it feels right to say. And looking back on it, like looking back on it, I think it's gonna be like beneficial to me in the long run. Like I think over time, I'm gonna be more confident. I'm gonna be more who I want to be. And yes, there will always be people who like have an opinion. There will always be people who judge it and that sort of stuff. But that's part of life. Car keys, huh? I can still go to the commissionary also. Do I take the closet? Just for the items and a chance on like the magnifying glass? Coupon book. I mean the metal detector. But not worth the risk. And that sort of stuff. So yeah, in the end, like in the long term, it might be something in getting used to. It might be something, you know, worth thinking of like, Elise, why would you do that? But in the end, I think it fits me. I think it's like who I am. And I think it's one of the way I'm going to express myself. And I stand firm accepting that this is my gender. And this is who I am. Can I take the elevator? No, it's up there. I think I need to keep this thing up. So I think I need to keep this thing up if I want to keep going through the doors. But the thing is, one there, the first door stayed open during the days. The question is, how much does stay open? You know? But yeah. Because as I said, in the end, I still find it weird because like it was fantasies. You know, that you think you're acting fantasies. But in the end, I always saw myself as a pregnant girl in a relationship. You know, neither be it like poly relationship, neither be like straight relationship, lesbian relationship. No matter what happened. I don't want to redraw. I just want one with items. Oh, a vault key. Oh. God dang it. Oh, the treasure trove. That's also one thing. And that sort of stuff. So in the long run, I think it will fit me. Oh, look, I'm rich, guys. If I want to buy out the showroom one day, I think the treasure trove is the way to go. In combination with my allowance. Okay, hold up. This is a black box. It's a black box. With a sun sign. Doesn't that say something about the sun? No, those blue and white boxes. In this, we find... Oh. Blue memo. Which means all boxes marked by the sun sign contain memos that are true. Okay. That's sad. No metal detector or thing. And I can't go anywhere else now. Did I get the note thing at the start of the day? Oh wait, I have no magnifying glass right now. Did I get like the thing at like the start of the day? But okay, at least we've gone through like how many doors is it? We've gone to one door, to the basement door, through a security door, through a wall, and through the red door. There's 5. Now I think I've stretched this day pretty far out as I can. Now, can I do that now that I think about it, before I forget? Before this Preggo forgets. Now, return to security menu. There are 3 keys still left, that doesn't bother me. I also said that I would look at the Swampsong HSSR thing, but I might do that once and just upload them to Patreon first. So... because I keep forgetting to do that, and it's long content maybe. Okay, immediately, each time you eat an apple, each time you unlock a bypass security door. All the hallway. This one sounds more doable because the tomorrow hallway adds tomorrow hallway to the pool. And if I keep drafting that, that might be a good time. Each time you draft the tomorrow room. Each room will be drafted in the next 40 seconds. I'm gonna do the shop room still. Then you find some trash while taking. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the crates don't have to do anymore. Permanently add 1 gold to your allowance. Lower the rest of 4 by 1, I guess. Maybe not. Permanently increase your locking skill. Ladder. Add 3 aquariums. Set dice to 2. I still want to know what to spread dirt on the stairway does. Don't I want to do any from the right one? I mean, I can always change that later, but for now I don't think it's like that necessary. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day. Think this Preggo is gonna do that. I could do the Banner of the King again, but no. I also don't have a way to draw a vault anymore. Now this is also sad because the vault key finally. So yeah, no, let's call it a day. I've been like postponing the same much. This Preggo has been. The Royal Shopping Center. Thing, but like the thing, yeah, like I started like really low and opened those doors in this one at least, but thing. Oh, I'm really tired. I've been talking about so much. But yeah, like I said, main topic of the day is actually a topic that I experienced last or talked about last week about my choices to to do a pregnant VTuber as my WhatsApp profile picture and technically talking about that identity choice. And I feel like by doing this that I become happy. Dang, amateur lock pair gems keys that is like a good thing to do. But yeah, like in the end I think like I'm gonna be happy. And as I said, like in the end I don't want to do like yeah, I primarily do this because I want to express myself the way I want to express myself. But I also partly primarily do this to just say, this side of me exists, this side of me I accept, and I like, I pull my arms open and give it a good hug. But but I'm not gonna force people to accept it. So yeah, I'm gonna like if I'm outside anyway now, I'm gonna look. I saw I also have to do like the Elite Realm puzzle. I keep forgetting to search around for like things, but I don't know what the fuck I find. Any information on those stupid things. Uh, it looks open to the wall. Okay, it's open to here, so it stays open. Huh. Dang. But like also like if I look back at my gender choice, and the thing is like in my content, I've always been already like this. I've always appeared with a big belly, even if I was not pregnant. I always was like, hey, I'm Preggo, Elise, and that sort of stuff. And as my therapist said, and only finding logical, like if I look back at my first transgender thoughts when I saw myself as the girl in the relationship, nor be it pregnant or not, I've pushed that side away. Even my wish to like carry my own child and that sort of stuff, I pushed that side away. And I think because of that, that has slowly developed into my identity as it is now, and that sort of stuff. Uh, and who I am. So, like in the end, I think it's the right choice. So, like it's already like the thing is, as I said, like it's already been there, it's always been there, but now it's official. This has to be not true. The statement. Because if every box is empty, that is not possible because there only one box contains the gems. Let's say that white speaks the truth. And black is false. Yeah. Like by theory, it doesn't matter what blue is. If white is correct, then only thing is if black is correct, that is not possible. So I need to find like the burning torch or the burning glass. What the chapel? Ah. I've never drawn the master bedroom now that I think about it. But I think the master bedroom now is not the correct one. Where are my black rooms? Oh, hey, sleeping mask. Hey, look, there's my black room. Please have the torch, please have the torch. Oh, you have the self-igniting torch. Thank you. Do I go on? No. I'll go back. Now I have the steps. But yeah, like I said, like for my gender choice, it's always been there. But now I accept it. And now I say, like, this is me. And I know I repeat myself, but like... The Morning Star is not that useful, but the Self-Ignited Torch does. But the question is, like, still... Does that stay open? I have a feeling like I've been, like, as I said earlier, like, I have been officially doing the 8-round puzzle, but I have 2 keys left. I have no clue where to find information about the 8 rounds website, now the post stamps. And I feel like I've been doing, like, other puzzles that are, like, way more late game than this. The microchips. Luckily I didn't... Oh, if I had like a training post today and I traded the items away... I should grab up like that archives key and draw the archives. Just to see where it goes. But yeah, the story, like I said, the story will get continuation to like next week. Because like as I said, like I assume tomorrow is when I'm finally gonna tell that worker about my online identity as Preggo Vtuber. I assume there will be a talk about in my integration work about the fact that, like, you know, how I appear on my GitHub page, even if it's personal, because people will always have an opinion about it. There's some things you shouldn't tell. I'm gonna say, like, look, I know, for example, that you shouldn't tell your political opinion when you go for a job hunt. But this is part of who I am. This is part of me. So even if it's like a private GitHub and I share it around, this is who I am. You know, it's a site that is there that probably isn't, you know, guaranteed to be realistic, but it is who I am, and I am proud to accept that. And if you don't want me to accept me that way, fine. You know, don't get to work. But the other thing is, like as I said, I'm gonna work with a group starting this Wednesday, I assume. I don't know how late, but thing. And you know how late, but like they probably gonna have an opinion too. How do I unlock this door? Is that not the sign of blueprints? Wait. Is this? You know how I said that I would do the polar box ending? I only know it exists. I don't know where to find it, and I don't know which comes earlier, you know, than, like, as I said, with, like, you know, reclaiming the crown or doing the polar box ending. Would it be possible that I have to reclaim the crown first so those doors opened? Because I think this is the sign of blueprints. When you launch the game, basically. Which would mean that I have to become the blueprint, which would mean I have to reclaim the crown. So... I think. That will make the most logical sense, but... And how do I know it goes into the archives? It's a file cabinet key. Like, the only place I've seen a file cabinet is in the archives. So... But is there where the pallet box ending would be? Like, I know it's over the existence as reclaiming the crown either, but I don't know where it is. But as I thought, you know, everything is foundable in the house. So I guess that's fixed. I guess. And I guess now the question is, how do I reclaim the crown? Guess I have to go back to, like, you know, the... How do you call that one? The Aries Court puzzle? But... And I should go back to, like, you know... The... What's that called? The sigils, and especially, like, the Mechanium puzzle. Because, like, I done 2, and I have a good amount of, like, thing. That is 3. The Mechanium itself is also 1, so there will be automatically 4. And that sort of stuff. I should also do those things, because maybe, you know, maybe it's needed. I don't know. Maybe it is. Thinking in this game it might be needed to get, like, thing. Because to reclaim the crown, I assume you need the blue crown and whatever it is, like in the treasure trove. As, you know. Like, I assume maybe it's needed, maybe it don't. I have to go back, I have to go back, I have to go back, I have to go draw, I have to go draw. Run, 9 seconds. Don't be locked, don't be locked. Okay, now there should be more things in the middle room, which should indicate more letters, which should be more things. Which means should more things to look at. So I'm gonna last letter message terminal door. We completely slip my mind to give you the network password so that you can log into it. Even all site connection disabled should be able to use local network to access different house-based function. Yeah, thank you, Ralph. Already figured it out like 20 episodes ago. Yeah, this is another one. Not sure if you paid too much attention to the machine in Bootalab, but I figured I could save some frustration if you've been fooling with it. The contraption is a central control for power lines that run externally from the house in the past. This submerges emergency power source from the local community. We have modest hydraulic capabilities with a steam turbine. If you want to use it, you need to first turn on the turbine in the boiler room and utilize our steam ducts to connect the turbine to the lab. This is a required room, of course, and think any reason why you would have to use the boiler to reach room 46. Feel free to play around with it should you feel inclined to experiment. Quite flexible. When you look around the ceiling, many rooms you will find many of them saying, okay, this is more about the ducts and that sort of stuff. But see this, they're all from like different things. You remember right too much. I've never been too good at googling where the line of importance is for all or no. Maybe the help of a few with letters unwanted. Maybe you are perfectly fine without my help. Been a bit more quandary for me. As I've read in this, I'm fairly certain your uncle didn't want us to assist you or your quest. Still, if it was that important, I believe he have to foresight specifically instruct us not to interfere, not in effort to deter him. From the level of supervision in the past and after working alongside him for over a decade, I like to at least imagine that we're our friends and that I know him well in conclusion. I think it would find the help I offered well with an acceptable range. I've spoken too much about him since his departure, and I know you didn't know him last fall, but as soon as you're ready, I'm going to have plenty of stories to tell. He was a fearless businessman with the greatest respect for invention. Of all the laboratories I've worked in, I can tell you Mount Holly was a gem, and I hope you can continue to work once you've taken up the reins. But I want to get out myself, you still have to find it for room 46. Well, technically I already did. So, you know, technically, but yeah, I still want to see from the back. I still want to see it from the back. That means that you give me a room to go there. I still can go up from the armory. So, Like, in theory, I should be able to get there. I still also feel this is important. But I want to know why. Like, I want to know why it is important. It maybe give it just decoration, who knows. This Preggo is not a smart ass, okay? I still love blueprints. But the fact that, like, I started with, like, doing, like, you know, the, what is it? The 8-round puzzle and the sigils, and then I slowly dislined to reclaiming the crown, and that I slowly dislined to doing the bottle box ending. I assume it's behind that door, because I know it exists, but I don't know where to find, but, like, it will be logical. And it will be logical that you can do it after, you know, you have become the king of blueprints. I have now 4? Yeah, security, the security to workshops, the boiler room, that's 4. Oh yeah, if I want to go that way, then... Do I care to, like, do the dark room and do, like, shield it then, so that I have 2 more options? Do I? No, I want to do the treasure trove. I get the coins. It's a blue moon box. Look, I'm rich. Rich. It's a blue moon box. Okay, hold on. 9 is a blue moon box. Oh, that's my only key. Pink box marked with a moon always contain false statements. Big boxes marked with a moon contain always false. Did I get like a pink box before? No. What was I going for? Oh yeah, they got the back behind the secret passage. You don't seem to be able to pick this lock. Oh shit. But the thing is, like, if I close... I mean, if I have the steps, I could check. But, like, if I close the door... Like this door, do I have enough then still? I mean, I know how to turn it on. That door. So... If I need to, I know how it works. If I need to, which I probably don't. I hope it stays open and that I don't have to. Don't seem to be able to pick this lock. Do I call it a day to another day? Just to see if it stays open. No, I should be smart. I should be smart. Oh, I'm dead. This will give me keys, which I need. But then I have to solve the dartboard puzzle again. Now watch me give it like a silver key or something. No, 20. Okay, this is 1, this is 5. This is 8. Minus 7 is 1, times 18 is 18. What do you mean? Where says divide? Oh wait, this is divide by 3. No, this is like 5. This is 8. Minus 7 is 1. Times 18 is 18. Divided by 3 is 6. I forgot to divide. Okay, now I need the dartboard solver again. Now I need the dartboard solver again. I know that it is 2. Hold on. This is 2, and 2 times, 2 squared is 4. Times 20 is 80. Divided by 8 is 10. Divided by 10 is 1. I'm so good at this. I start to get it. Like, I start to learn it, but I'm not that far into it. And seeing what this dartboard has to offer, I don't think it goes that far. I still think this is like beginner level. And that sort of stuff. Is that the 4? That is the 4. I've done something wrong. I see. These are... I think I choose the 13 instead of the 4. I was like, it's just like, So there should be 8. It starts with 0. 0 plus 8 is 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 in the square is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. And 32 divided by 4 is 8. I fucking called it! I mean, it locks open a door. And gives me a door with many keys. So the thing is, do I choose the boiler? Or I think I choose the boiler room and hope that I can get across and see it like... Oh, it's not in the middle, it's to the right, and it is one up. Oh. I thought it was in the middle one. This would indicate, this means that I was right. It was not in the CX line. Because in this case, it was not in the CX line, because if it was in the CX line, that means that X was wrong. And we have seen it on like, the back of like, the cloister statue. Oh. I'm gonna screenshot this. Just in case. Find in the secret passage as door on it with labeled So I was wrong. Originally I thought the D was there. Technically, if you have like castle next to it. So on the line to CX. Would that would mean that I was wrong. And it would likely mean that the second line is at. Like the second line is at, the third line is 6. But Tor lore. I have no clue what that means. I think it means like something from the game. Maybe like one of the languages that is spoken here, but... Yeah, and I don't know. And now I don't have that stupid thing. I don't have that anymore. No, I don't have the vault key box. Do I? No. Not yesterday. Well, and that was my day for this. At least if I do another one. It's been an hour, 50 minutes. Wait. C-A-S-T-L-E. In that case, would that be then C-A-X-A-D? Huh. This is like the... Yeah, Van Erie's passport. And with this, I'm gonna like check outside and call this video a day. I mean, we've made quite some good progression. We have made some further progression on the Aries court and realized that I was wrong. You know, we have made progress on the door, the tunnel, and that sort of stuff. And I'm pretty sure that last door here has to be become the crown of blueprints. This Preggo might be, this Preggo might be that long, but I can piece one and one together. Because I'm pretty sure that is like the blueprints, the blueprints, I should say it. The blueprints logo, so I assume you have to become the blueprint. So. But said that I didn't draw them again, of course. I'm giving it your standard. Not too much. You already common. I have no room to draw them. Oh, I do have one more. But I don't have 4, like I have thing. But yeah, like that sort of stuff. So I made progression on the door, and that's to take the biggest thing, or the tunnel, into the blue parlor box ending, I assume it is. But I'm pretty sure you need to reclaim the crown to open that door. Do I... When you draft, you may rewind time after drawing new 4 punch. You're more likely to draw tomorrow rooms while drafting. Oh. Wait, this is different. Rewind time, that sounds OP. Like legitimate, that sounds OP. Imagine rewinding time because you have like a bad end. But yeah, like as I said, like this Preggo can be that smart, and this Preggo might put one and one together. But like I said, this Preggo is happy with the things we made today. Because in the end, this hallway is open until what I assume is like the blueprints door and that sort of stuff. And yeah, we've gone some progress into like the Aries court key. I don't know if this stays open. I assume not because the microchips reset every day. But yeah, I assume this is the blueprints door. So yeah. Like as I said, like, we made quite some progress today. And that sort of stuff, but unfortunately, the progress has come to a halt. This Preggo is not, like, too powerful or too smart. But yeah, in the end, like I said, the hallway is empty. We have found its secret. The blueprint cipher, or the castle cipher, is as good as solved. But... the thing is, I think I only need the letter E. What is like this, at the bottom you have E_T. But the third thing of that is like, I need to find out what Thor lore means. And assuming this game is in the house, and assuming the words, it might be something, from the game's language. And made up language and that sort of stuff. But the question is what? And that reminds me that the E_T, but and yeah, furthermore, we've just drafted in a few days, and we're nearing day 100, so we're nearing day 100. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. If you don't know who I am, I'm known as Elise, your pregnant gender girl on the internet, your pregnant Vtuber trans girl. If you like what you saw, I primarily focus on Project Eve and horror content on my channels. If you like that, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell down below. But if you like blueprints, make sure to stick around, because I think this is a series that will stay until the end of the year. I don't know yet, but as I said, I am focused on doing the Pallet Box ending. And I don't know how much that will take, but that probably involves me becoming the Blue Prince. And that involves me doing the castle cipher, and that probably involves me doing like the 8 round puzzle. But there's a lot to do still. So if you like more for future episodes, make sure to check it out. As I said, I'm Preggo, your pregnant Vtuber Transgender, your pregnant identifying girl, and that sort of stuff. If you like what you saw, as I stated, primarily focus on supporting D4, but also do a lot of Let's Plays. I've also done like We Happy Few, Shadows Overloading, several Call of Duty Veteran Campaign series. I've done the Mental Omega series that I probably should return to one day, but and that sort of stuff. And way more, so I think there's something for you. You might like it, and say that if you want to be part of my community, there is a Discord link in the linktree at the bottom of the video description. My linktree also hosts all my other socials in case you don't use Discord. But Discord is your best way to talk to your pregnant girl, your best way to stay up to date, and your best way to interact with my small community and that sort of stuff. So if you like me, if you like my content, want to stay up to date, that's your best place. But you can also ring the notification bell and subscribe down below. That's your best way to support me and that sort of stuff. That tells YouTube to throw the video in the algorithm, and that tells me you like blueprints. Otherwise, if you want to support me, there's also a Ko-fi and Patreon available in the link tree for your choice. If you want to support me a little bit more, it's not needed, it's appreciated, and that sort of stuff. But with that, I'm going to say, have a wonderful night, have a wonderful week, and make this Blue Prince pregnant girl see you in the next video. Till then, bye. Bye.